In a sealed lab, massive machines roar to life. Sparks fly, alarms flicker, and scientists stand ready in heavy protective suits. They know the experiment could unlock secrets of the universe, or unleash something no one can control. What kind of experiment was so bold, so dangerous, that people feared it might bring the end of the world? Defining terrifying in science has always been about pushing boundaries, testing ideas, and uncovering truths that reshape the way we see the world. Most of the time, experiments bring progress, from curing diseases to exploring the stars. But some ventures carry a very different weight: the possibility of catastrophe. What makes an experiment truly terrifying isn't just the scale of the machines or the brilliance of the scientists, but the risks they take when outcomes are uncertain. Some experiments flirt with disaster on a global level, where even a tiny miscalculation could spell doom for entire populations. Others are frightening because they cross moral lines, turning human subjects into test cases without consent. The fear comes from two directions: the potential to cause physical destruction, or the potential to reveal how far humans are willing to go in the name of knowledge. Throughout history, there have been experiments that sparked whispers of, what if this ends everything? From detonating the first atomic bomb, where scientists feared it might ignite the atmosphere, to particle accelerators accused of possibly creating black holes, humanity has danced dangerously close to the edge. These stories remind us that curiosity can be as chilling as it is inspiring. The Manhattan Project and Trinity Test. During World War II, the race to build the first atomic bomb became one of the most secretive and ambitious scientific efforts in history. Known as the Manhattan Project, it brought together thousands of scientists, engineers, and military minds. But behind the calculations and construction, there was a chilling fear. Some physicists wondered if detonating such a weapon might ignite Earth's atmosphere, setting the world itself on fire. Despite those risks, the project pressed forward, leading to the first nuclear test, the Trinity explosion in July 1945. In the desert of New Mexico, a blinding flash of light lit up the night, followed by a towering mushroom cloud that rolled into the sky. Observers described it as both awe-inspiring and horrifying, realizing they had unleashed a power unlike anything seen before. The test confirmed humanity's ability to split atoms and weaponize energy on an unimaginable scale. But it also marked the dawn of nuclear terror. From that moment, civilization held the power to destroy itself with the push of a button. The Trinity Test wasn't just an experiment, it was a turning point where knowledge handed humanity both ultimate strength and ultimate risk. The Large Hadron Collider fears. When the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland prepared to switch on in 2008, it wasn't just physicists who were paying attention. Built to smash particles together at nearly the speed of light, the machine was designed to recreate conditions from the earliest moments of the universe. But for the public, the headlines were far more alarming. Some feared the collider might create miniature black holes that could swallow Earth, or a mysterious strange matter that could rewrite the laws of physics in one catastrophic instant. Scientists explained that the collider's collisions were no more dangerous than the natural particle crashes that happen in our atmosphere every day. But imagination often wins over logic, and lawsuits were even filed to stop the machine from running. When the power switch was finally flipped, the world held its breath. The result? Nothing terrifying. Instead, the collider revealed groundbreaking discoveries like confirming the Higgs boson, the so-called God particle, that explains why matter has mass. The LHC proved safe, but the fear surrounding it showed just how fragile public trust can be. When experiments flirt with the unknown, even the most advanced science can feel like a leap into darkness. Human experiments gone wrong. Not all terrifying experiments involve giant machines or the risk of destroying the planet. Some of the darkest chapters in science came from experiments done directly on people. In the mid-20th century, radiation studies were secretly carried out on unsuspecting patients. Individuals were injected with radioactive materials or exposed to dangerous levels of radiation, all without being told the risks. These tests left lasting health damage and destroyed trust in the very institutions meant to protect them. Unethical trials went beyond radiation. In prisons, hospitals, and isolated communities, people were sometimes used as test subjects without consent, treated as data points rather than human beings. What makes these experiments truly horrifying isn't the scale of destruction, but the willingness to sacrifice human dignity in the pursuit of knowledge. Unlike a nuclear blast or a particle collision, the terror here was deeply personal. Ordinary people betrayed by those in power. These moments remind us that the fear of science isn't only about world-ending disasters. It's also about what happens when when curiosity overrides morality, when the drive to discover blinds scientists to the cost paid by the most vulnerable among us, playing with the atmosphere. During the Cold War, science and warfare often blurred together, and some of the most frightening experiments were carried out above our heads. One of the most infamous was Project Starfish Prime in 1962, when the United States detonated a powerful nuclear bomb high above the Pacific Ocean. Scientists wanted to understand how nuclear explosions behaved in space, but the risks were enormous. Some experts worried that the blast could harm Earth's magnetic field, exposing the planet to deadly solar radiation. Others feared it could disrupt satellites or communication systems in ways no one could predict. When the weapon went off, the results shocked even the people running the test. The sky lit up with artificial auroras that stretched across thousands of kilometers, glowing in eerie colors. They were beautiful, but they were also terrifying. A reminder that humans had just rewritten part of the sky itself. The explosion knocked out power grids in Hawaii and damaged several satellites. For ordinary observers, the display looked like a cosmic warning sign. Project Starfish Prime proved that experiments with Earth's atmosphere carry consequences far beyond the lab, and sometimes those consequences linger long after the scientists have packed up their equipment. Modern frontiers of fear. Today's most unnerving experiments aren't about giant explosions, but about rewriting the very building blocks of life and intelligence. CRISPR technology, which allows scientists to edit genes with precision, has opened doors to curing genetic diseases. But it also raises the fear of designer humans or irreversible changes to the human genome. What begins as healing could quickly turn into manipulation. Artificial intelligence brings its own set of chilling questions. Machines trained to learn and adapt are now capable of making decisions faster than any human. But what happens if their goals don't match ours? Or if their actions spiral beyond our control? The fear isn't about a robot army from a movie, but about quiet shifts in power where humans no longer steer the wheel. Then there's synthetic biology. Labs can now build viruses or modify organisms in ways nature never intended. Used responsibly, this could fight pandemics or produce sustainable fuels. But in the wrong hands, or even through accident, it could spark a crisis far worse than anything we've seen. Each of these frontiers carries immense promise, but also immense risk. Proof that the most terrifying experiments of our time may not be explosions, but the invisible shifts happening inside labs today. Why we still take these risks. Despite the dangers, humanity has never stopped experimenting. Curiosity drives us to uncover mysteries, even when the answers might be unsettling. Every major leap in science has carried its own shadow. The atomic age began with fear of annihilation. Medical breakthroughs came after ethical failures, and today's genetic editing sparks debates about reshaping humanity itself. Yet we continue, because discovery has always been tied to survival and progress. Fear does play an important role. It forces scientists to pause, to check their numbers twice, and to debate their methods in the open. Regulations, safety reviews, and ethical boards are born out of these concerns. Without fear, the push for knowledge could move recklessly, without limits. With it, we're reminded that science isn't only about what we can do, but what we should do. In that balance lies both danger and hope. From the first nuclear detonation to the fears of the Large Hadron Collider, from unethical medical trials to blasting the atmosphere during the Cold War, and now the frontiers of gene editing and artificial intelligence, science has always balanced progress with peril. Each terrifying experiment reminds us that discovery comes with responsibility. The most terrifying science experiment isn't just the one that could end life, it's the one that shows how fragile life really is. Humanity's willingness to take such risks reveals our unstoppable curiosity, but also our need for wisdom. Every bold step forces us to ask not only can we do this, but should we? And if we dare to test boundaries this extreme on Earth, imagine the experiments that may unfold when we build civilizations among the stars. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into science's most daring frontiers.